Really pleased, you know, we talked about wanting to play more of a complete game in all three phases. I think we did a bit tonight. I think we played pretty well. Offense, defense, and special teams. Certainly our best performance in all three phases on the year. You know, and that's what you want to do. I mean, you want to keep developing. I think this team's playing better now than we did earlier in the year. We're going to continue to get better as the season goes on. You know, we got a bye week coming up right now, and I guess a bye week, short week, whatever, but it is kind of a bye week. We get a chance to get some guys healthy, get some rest, recompose ourselves, and move forward to the second part of this season. This three-game stretch was huge for us. To get back home and get these 3 wins was really big for us. You know, there's still though a lot of things we can clean up on. You know, some of the red zone, we missed 2 red zone opportunities. You know, came out in the second half. The first 2 drives, you know, we come out, we drop a pass on what would be a third down completion as we're driving. We don't get we miss the field. We don't score in the red zone, which, you know, you want to get touchdowns while you're down there. Miss a block in the perimeter. End up not scoring and then miss the field goal, no points. You know, the penalty, silly penalties for us. I mean, you know, we're 6 penalties for 62 yards is not like how we've been all year. That's not like us. So it's pretty disappointing for us right there. You know, one of them called back a touchdown, which hurts. You know, but we'll take it. I think it's a great win for us, and a win we can really go build off of as we continue into this kind of this next phase of the season.
Questions? Ben, right here.
Yeah, another slow start for the defense, but once again they seem to settle down. What are you seeing in the first quarter that you're, or in the last 3 quarters that you're not seeing in the first?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the first drive of the game, we look like, you know, we stop them and then give up a third down conversion. You know, and to me, I think early on, you know, give them credit. They got some good players. You know, and we had some missed tackles. Well, I think it's just missed tackles, to be perfectly honest with you, is what it was in that early part of the game. So missed tackles and missed opportunities there. But you know what? They got some pretty good players. Not like, you know, missed tackles. There's a guy we're missing too, and they got some pretty good players. Their running back's a pretty dynamic player with the ball in his hand. Made a lot of yards after contact today. And some receivers made some plays, and you know, we just gotta. We got to make those plays to start off the game the right way. I think that first miss on third down was a big one.
Dan, kind of 2 questions. First, Dak's 4th touchdown, the 20-yard run, it looked like right at the end of the first half, it looked like he kind of motioned towards the sideline. Was that him telling you guys that he was going to take off and run with it?
No, it was, you know, what we looked, we had a couple plays called, because, you know, I mean, you're getting close to the end of the first half right there. I think, honestly, he saw they weren't lined up. Well, you know what it was? You're right, he was. I was worried about different looks we could get because we didn't have a lot of time on the clock. And, you know, so I think he was looking over to make sure we had the right play call that we wanted in that situation. And I think he was looking fast because he knew we had the look we wanted for it. And, you know, he probably could just go and not even pay attention to me, you know. He knows what he's doing out there.
I guess, how important was that last 2 minutes where you guys got 14 points, got the interception?
It was huge, and we gave up the 3, which I wasn't happy with. You know what I mean? And they give them credit. Great special teams play. You know, probably really bad decision on my part to give the squib kick because we've been kicking it out all day. Probably should have just kicked it out again out of the end zone, and you know, gave them a field position, gave them an opportunity to get a field goal right before the first half. But our 2 touchdowns late, I think, really shifted momentum. You know, it was a tight game. Really shifted and gave us some momentum that we didn't have a lot the whole first half.
Hutcherson and Holloway have struggled in the past with drops. What have they done in the last year to become the playmakers they have become?
Practice catching the ball, I guess. You know, I think that just comfortable in the offense. You know, I mean, you look at Hutch. You know, Hutcherson got thrown in a bad situation last year. Probably a kid guy we would have loved to have redshirted last year. Got thrown in and had to go play some, just because of injuries. And I think you see him really starting to develop and getting comfortable within the offense and in the system and really starting to make some good plays for us right now. And the same with Brandon. Brandon's a veteran player now, been around. I think just a lot more comfortable out there on the field, and they expect to make the plays now within the system.
With the secondary kind of banged up like it is, how big was it to have Tevez that came out and like he may have been injured and then go back in there and get a couple of picks? Just the emotional lift of a senior, making big plays for the secondary.
Well, I think that's huge because we have been devastated there. You know what I mean? You're talking about a team one of our emotional leaders at Kendrick Market, and team captain in Will Redmond. You know, and so that's just really, you know, that's kind of devastating to a team when that stuff happens. But I will say this, he did do, you know, to have Tevez step up, and he knows he's a leader back there for us. That, you know, guys look to him. And I think a lot of the young players, we've got some talented young players, but, you know, they're looking for the guidance, and for him to make those big plays is huge.
Kind of following up on Mike's question about Holloway, moving forward, do you envision him being a bigger part of the offense just because of the explosive nature we saw from him tonight?
Well, I think he, you know, I can't say that because Dak's going to take what they give him. You know, I mean, and sometimes he's getting the ball, he's the first read on the play. Sometimes he's the third or fourth read on the play. And the fortunate thing we have is a quarterback that is comfortable in the pocket and is pretty good making decisions right now. And dispersing the ball around and taking what the defense gives us. So, you know, I don't know that it's something we're really, you know, trying to focus just to get him the ball. I think it's just, that's Dak's taking what they're giving us.
Would you rather, is the bye week coming at a good time for you, or would you rather keep this momentum of these last 3 games going?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I mean, you guys ask that question all the time. I don't know. I mean, if we beat Missouri, it came at a great time. If we, you know, if we don't, it did. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. There's a good time, bad time. I think it's, you know, we're going to take advantage of it. That's for sure. Try to get healthy and get some guys moving forward.
I know a couple weeks back you said this team was trying to find people to make plays and kind of search around Dak and Tevez, 2 seniors who had big games for you. Is this what you kind of needed from the team, was just, you know, those senior guys to take over and carry some of the load?
Well, I mean, you know, when you want guys to make plays, you're always counting on the seniors to be those guys to do that, for sure. You know, I mean, the playmaking and all the leadership, all that, it starts with the senior class, and then it'll start getting down to everybody else. So it was great that those guys were able to do that tonight.
6 straight years from a bowl game. Is that something that you got? I guess is that kind of the standard now for this program? Just talking about getting to a bowl game for 6
I
straight.
don't know. When I got here, people were patting me on the back, saying if we get to a bowl game every once in a while, that'd be fantastic, right? But Mr. Strickland there in the corner, right there behind you, and Dr. Keenum in his, I'm sure he's at the game tonight, watching, having a good old time. They've kind of expected that now, and I think our fans expect that too. So I love it. That's the expectations we wanted to build in this program when we decided to go build the program.
Will Redmond has been through a lot in his career. I mean, how tough is it to see his senior year cut short like this?
It's absolutely devastating. You know, he's a team captain that's done everything the right way throughout his whole career, and is a leader of the team. So it's absolutely. I don't think anybody has an idea how devastating that is to a young man that has meant so much to this program and invested so much in the program.
Last couple of games, turnovers haven't been an issue anymore. You're getting a lot more. What are you seeing from the defense that's creating those?
Well, I said that a couple weeks ago. You know, I told our guys, I said, you know, they're going to come, and they're going to come in. When they come, they're going to start coming in bunches. And you saw that tonight. What did we had? We created 3, and then we really had another one that got called back. So, you know, but we told our guys that, you know, because one of the things I think the guys can start getting uptight about it. Oh, like, you know, over when are we going to force turnovers? Just don't relax. They're going to come when they do. They're going to come in bunches for us, and you're starting to see that right now that they are starting to come a little bit more and more. We need to keep creating them throughout the course of the season.
Coach, Donald Gray had a couple big catches in the first half. How do you feel about his progress in the season?
He's done a great job. You know, I mean, he's, you know, obviously it was a huge deal to get him in early, to graduate, you know, to go through spring practice, to get comfortable. And I really think he's worked hard to go put himself in a position to be a playmaker and learn the offense, learn how to make plays with the offense. Not just, hey, I'm a playmaker, give me the ball. Learn how to be a receiver in the system. And you know, and I think a guy like Dak being able to spread the ball around to everybody gives all those guys confidence. Because I tell you what, you know, even in practice sometimes he might. You know, he'll look at me sometimes. He's just going to throw you the ball, even though it might not be the right read, to make sure you're paying attention. And he wants everybody to know you better be locked in every single play of the game because you never know when the ball's going to come your way.
Dak had 100 yards rushing today. Was that by design, or was he again taking what the defense gave him?
Yeah, I think, you know, we called a couple design runs. I think you guys know when the design runs are there, and a couple of them hit. think his last touchdown, I mean, they just know it. I mean, it's just the simple zone read play, and nobody had him. He took off running. A couple of scrambles. You know, I think he scrambled a couple times tonight. So I think you look at about, you know, I still think we're probably way under where we used to be for design, like called quarterback runs. He's just kind of reading some things, but you know, it's good to see him get those. What I was really happy with was some of the explosive runs that he had tonight. You know, I think we've talked about that, finding that balance of when's it time to scramble. And I think you saw it tonight. He saw some lanes, and he took some lanes scrambling instead of trying to, you know, just, again, taking what the defense is giving you. I mean, instead of waiting around for somebody else to come open. There's times he did a great job buying time, finding a receiver. Other times he saw a lane, took off, and knew what the coverage was and could get first downs.
Going back to Will Redmond for a minute,
Yeah.
is there any idea what his rehab process is going to be like, or how it could affect him going through the NFL draft process?
Well, you know, I mean, generally on how those injuries work, what they'll do is he'll start a rehab process right now. Okay, when he'll get the swelling down, we'll set the surgery time, he'll have the surgery done. Then he'll start the rehab process after that. And, you know, hopefully, for him, he and I have met a bunch, and, you know, hopefully we get him back healthy and he gets cleared by hopefully mid-April, you know, so he gets cleared before the draft.
How'd you feel about the running game overall? A lot of the young backs got there, and was there any reason why Shumpert didn't get any carries today?
Well, you know, I just think, you know, he didn't get a lot of practice this week, you know, in there, and, you know, what I want to do is you got those young guys, like I said, we've been rolling guys through, so a guy's not 100%, I wasn't ready to put out there in that situation if we didn't need him to go out there. So I thought the young guys did pretty well. We're going to go look at it. You know, I think they're, you know, they're a very, very stout run defense, and you know, that's what, you know, that you watch Mark. That's, you know, they're building that program on that to be and big and physical inside, a stout inside running defense. So it makes it challenging to run the ball on them. But you know, it was good to see it get a bunch of different guys some carries and get them in the game and see them improve. You know, running backs getting carries, getting catches, working in protection, and I think that's going to help us moving forward.
All good. Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.